This is War Room Moments, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and most relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. War Room Moments is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board. Here's your host, Jason Miller.
Hey, welcome to the War Room today. I have a very unique guest with a pretty cool ass business name, I would say. pissconsumer.com. That's pretty cool. And yeah, something really needed in today's society, no doubt. And I know you've been doing great work for a long time. Welcome to the show, my friends. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Jason. My name is Michael Podolsky. I am co-founder of pissconsumer.com. I'm glad to be on the show. Thank you very much. Really looking forward to the conversation we're about to have.
Yeah, man. Just give us a little 30-second introduction of because I suck at introducing people. So give us a little 30-second introduction of, what's the superpower that you have?
Well, it will be a little bit longer than 30 seconds if you don't mind.
Sure.
I will waste a little bit more of our listeners and viewers' time. I started Pissed Consumer 17 years ago when I got pissed. So I was the original first Pissed Consumer. I had no recourse with the business. I was sent to a really bad vacation spot. They would take towels in the morning. They would return it in the evening. During the day, you had no ability to use towels because they were washing them. And the hotel didn't have enough towels. And hotel claimed to be a 5-star hotel. Imagine being there. And that was only one of many problems that I encountered at that trip. So I tried doing credit card claim. I tried talking to the travel agent. It was before internet and there were no Expedias then. People would book hotels and trips through travel agents. I even took them to small claims court. I had no recourse with that particular business. And that's when me and my partner decided to open up Pissed Consumer. And after investing $100 each, and a lot of blood, sweat that went into the business, that was it. It just took off. We found plenty of pissed consumers that are around us who want to use our platform. Now 130,000 brands are on Pissed Consumer platform because consumers have written something about them and consumers have spoken. Today, we are the largest negative review platform in the United States. Negative. Because of its name.
Right.
Mostly the content that I get, mostly negative.
Makes sense, I guess. That makes perfect sense. Well, you know what? We need both sides of it, right? It's like, I always look at somebody like Google, right? You take, what is it, Google business profile or whatever. Somebody that's got a 5.0 and 500. I think you and I talked about this before. 500, whatever, reviews, testimonials or whatever. And they got a 5.0. I kind of question that, right? Because you can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? So
absolutely. And I'll tell you even funnier story. So if you're here for funny stories,
let's
human conversation is so first 9 years of Pissed Consumer's life, we were sued 24 times.
Wow.
We won 24 lawsuits. Today, I don't see a lot of there are no takers right now after pretty much, I'm sure there are companies that are asking lawyers whether they should sue us, but then lawyers go to the legal history and they pretty much recommend companies not to go there because it's just a big waste of money for us, for me, but I don't step down. One of the companies that sued us was actually S&P 500 company that tried to sue us. They thought that they're going to stifle us with a lot of financial losses, but we took them on and they backed off.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the story goes one of the dentists in Las Vegas, Nevada, dentist, and wanted to sue us. We've had a lot of arguments, conversations. They had some negative reviews on our platform. And then all of a sudden, a dentist on Google, it just appeared that they have 120,000 reviews. Can you imagine dentist having 120,000 clients?
It doesn't even make any sense.
How does it happen?
Right. Something ain't adding up there, man.
So would you like to visit a dentist that has 120,000 reviews?
Jesus.
A review is a funny business.
Oh, I bet. Somebody told me, oh, you know what? I think a lot of this conversation stems back to you and I talked a couple years ago. So I think it was you that was telling me that people go buy reviews, they do all, it's like, I didn't even know that was a thing until you brought it to my attention. I'm like, really? Why? I mean, just
Because
seems crazy.
today's consumer, 82% of consumers will read reviews before making a purchase that costs more than $20. So
Wow.
if you buy something more than $20, you'll most likely read the review. Businesses do know it, and they want good reviews.
Yeah,
So
right.
businesses are inventive. We are here to invent stuff, so they think, well, I'm totally against it. There are a couple of industry initiatives going right now to build a coalition of review trustworthiness
Right. Isn't that illegal?
to buy reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's illegal. Absolutely.
I mean, I would sure
I
as hell,
absolutely don't condone it. I just
I would,
say that yes, it does exist,
I mean, I
but
would sure as hell
I'm
think
totally against it.
there's a law against that, I would think.
There are FTC regulations against it.
FTC regulation.
But some people got into trouble over it
Yeah.
and paid
Well,
significant fines for doing things like that.
you should. I mean, it just makes sense that because that's deception, right? I mean, you're deceiving people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why we only do video testimonials from our clients. That's it. I don't even bother with written stuff. We get all of our clients, we work with them for at least 8 to 8 months, even a year. And then when they've had a result, we ask them for a video testimonial, right?
And that's the absolutely right way
Yeah,
of doing things.
that's the right way to do stuff, right? So I don't know. I just I see stuff on people's websites and it's just written stuff and I don't know. Anybody can write whatever the hell they want. So I've always went the opposite direction with just showing the value, then have the client do a testimonial on video. Well, I guess in today's world, you could even fake that, I suppose, with AI shit. So I suppose you could do that too.
Going back to the lawsuits that Pest Consumer had to go through, we were
Yeah,
accused multiple times of writing reviews ourselves. But
right.
since we've opened up our YouTube channel where a consumer has an ability to put together a video review with our help, where we actually interview consumers
Yeah.
after their complaints, um, those allegations went away. No one anymore says that we are writing reviews ourselves. So
Oh,
yeah, video
that's
testimonials, video
smart.
reviews are very useful, but
That's
they can
smart.
play positive way and negative way too.
Yeah, that's true. No doubt
It's a
about that.
two-sided sword.
It is. Just be on the right side of the sword and do good
Yes,
because doing good is good business, right? So
absolutely.
well, hey, I'm really curious. Did you come from a family of entrepreneurs growing up?
No.
No?
I'm very grateful to my parents, my father and my mother. They
Hmm.
are and engineers from Soviet Union. There is
Mm.
no entrepreneurship in Soviet Union. There was no entrepreneurship.
Well, good
So
point.
we've immigrated more than 30 years ago to United States. My parents were engineers.
Yeah. What was the inspiration then? What was the story that brought you to through all of this? I mean, you've created a wonderful tool for people to use to, express their opinions and get vision on, I call them shit companies. There's plenty of those out there, right? I mean, I know the story of why you did it, but what was the lead up? I mean, how did we get here? I guess that's really how did we get here and what was the reason why we got here other than
I want to help
obviously,
consumers, as funny as
yeah,
it may sound. I want to help
right,
consumers, and I want
right,
to do everything possible in my power to do that.
right.
Um, as a matter of fact, when I was starting this business, I was working on Wall Street. I was working
Mm,
at the largest financial institutions of the United States, and I was doing just fine financially. The highest ranking position that I've had was one level below chief technology officer at the largest financial institution
right.
before quitting and running Best Consumer full time.
Yeah. So it
It's,
wasn't,
I would say it's a calling, tell you honestly. I love
yeah.
what I do. I love helping consumers, but I also want to help companies too,
Hmm.
because I want to. Recently, I was talking to Joe Foster, founder of Reebok.
Oh yeah. I love Joe. He's
Y-
awesome.
Yeah, and I asked him a question. What does he think of negative reviews? His response was, people should consider negative, companies should consider negative review to be a gift because consumer tells you what they don't like about your product or your service.
That's
Go
correct.
change it and sell more of this.
Hmm.
That's what it is. And I love that comment. So I want companies to change. I want companies to get better in servicing their clients. Um, with my platform, you don't have to wait to receive a negative review about your company. You can look at your competitors and see what people don't like about your competitors and get lessons out of that. That
Sure.
also helps, right? So I went into business because I wanted to help consumers, companies. And another great reason why I've done it when I've done it was this. So Monday through Friday, I was working on Wall Street. At that time, I had 2-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son. They were all over me. I had to get out from the house. So on Saturdays, I was working on Best Consumer, writing code for it. That
Mm-hmm.
was another reason.
Yeah. So there wasn't this like burning desire like you hear all the time, right? There's this burning desire of, the entrepreneurial bug, that kind of thing. Like I had that. I had that because I grew up entrepreneurial. My dad was a farmer. My mom owned two or three businesses in a small town of like 1,000 people. And then I joined the military and I got into my military career and it was like I had this gap, right? And I felt this like calling to be in that entrepreneurial space. And anyway, this isn't about me. But that was like that bug for me. Did you feel that, or was that just it was just was out of a necessity of being pissed off?
Look, before succeeding in Best Consumer, I failed at 2 or 3 other
Mm,
attempts.
mm,
So I guess you can call it a bug.
right.
I would, I guess now as we are talking about it, yeah, I was always interested to do something myself. But you asked a question about my parents. I guess this bug is not inherited. It's either you have it or you don't,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It
Yeah.
just comes to you. Um, um, So I had a couple of failed attempts of doing something.
Right.
They didn't succeed. This one did. And there are a couple of other businesses that I've started after Pissed Consumer that are successful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's common. Well, at least I think. I kind of ignore people that tote the been successful all their life thing. I mean, Jesus, I mean, if we want to get into failure, wow, I am a textbook example of failure. And I don't have any problems admitting that, right? Because it took a lot of failure to find all the success, right? And people just want this instant gratification crap, and it doesn't exist. It's not there. And 9 attempts are failures and one hit the mark, right? And I mean,
That's
that's
normal statistics.
well,
90%, 95% of businesses fail.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
just
yeah,
about there.
yeah, right. I mean, it's last I got a friend that works at the SBA, and the last report I got was 93.5% of businesses fail. I don't know where the 0.5 came from, but whatever. Half of a business failed on the end. Stats, man. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's cool that you're on this mission to serve the consumer and the business kind of at the same time. Because look, we all know there's plenty of shithead consumers out there too, right? And that, a company has serviced them in the highest way possible, and no matter what, they're going to complain. I mean, there's plenty of that too, right? I mean, I'm sure you see that on the opposite spectrum too.
Um, there are different people, there are
Mm,
different companies.
right.
There are no perfect consumers and there are no perfect companies.
Hmm.
I just help them find a common language if it is possible.
Yeah.
Extremes cannot talk to each other. That's fine. But let's
Right.
bring closer the middle.
Right. Well, I mean, you look at it as a God, what do they call that when I can't remember what it's called now. Like you go to if you ever get sued, they have that part before you go into the courtroom to try to like figure it out, right? Um,
Mediation?
mediation, right? So it's like a great way to mediate in between with a platform like this, which
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
think I think it's fantastic.
Typical consumer would not post a review on Best Consumer
Hmm.
before they speak to the company.
Right.
Normal consumer will not post on our platform until they speak to company.
Right.
Consumer tries to resolve the issue with the company, and that's what I would like to happen in the future because
Sure.
company has all the power to fix it. When a review already showed up on Best Consumer, for company that's already almost too late
Hmm.
because it's already public.
Right.
They still have an ability to do something about it, but it is already public out there
Right.
and it will stay there forever.
Right. Searchable now.
Searchable now, but the company can address the issue. By
Hmm.
the way, I love the story of Domino Pizza that had a huge screw up in late 2000s,
Mm.
2008, 2009. They had a huge issue, public relations issue with bad video leaking to the internet, how pizza didn't taste right, was prepared from frozen ingredients. The Mina Pizza came out and said, people, we screwed up, admitted to the issues
Mm.
publicly,
Yeah.
increased transparency, showed
Hmm.
what they're doing to fix the issues. And by 2017, it took over Pizza Hut
Right.
in terms of volumes. So a fuck up can help you in the long term.
No doubt.
Admit
Transparency.
it, work on
Yeah.
it, fix it.
Yeah, I mean, transparency always wins because I always say bad news is never going to get better with time, right? So you're better off to just take it, take the hit, get your kick in the balls, right? And then keep on moving, right? I mean, that's the best way to look at it, in my opinion. But, well, hey, I'm really curious as to, based off of your experience to date with your company, if you could share two or three like really good pieces of advice to maybe a new founder or hell, even an old guy like us, right? Of, you know, a couple things that could prevent an arrow in the back that you went through. Some lessons.
Um, Hiring the right people is
That's a good
absolute
one.
must. Um, when I hire a person, I I look for lazy people. Let me explain why. I like to find the person that comes in. If they don't like the routine job that they are doing, they will come back and they will think about automating it. I am a lazy person. I want to automate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I find a boring task, I think about it, and I think about automating it. That's the type of people I'm looking for, and that's what I would recommend other people to do. Look for people that are lazy to do the routine.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the people that may innovate and will be able to innovate to come up with automations. That's the first advice I would give. Second advice is be careful when you take loans out and be careful when you sell your equity
Mm-hmm.
of your business. Think
Yeah.
about other ways of getting your financing. I don't know how.
Right.
If, I mean, selling your equity is a problem, better to loan. And the best option is come up with interesting ways to bootstrap your business, not to get into the financial mm, red,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah. No doubt. Oh God, that's a whole nother segment. For sure. But yeah, I mean that's all great advice. And I want people to be able to reach out to you. Obvious, it's pretty obvious, pissedoffconsumer.com, but is there any other way how do you want people to try to connect with you, to work with you, JV deal with you, whatever the case may be?
Bestconsumer.com. We take reviews, we take inquiries, companies come to us to work with us. We have some unique opportunities to advertise with us
Mm,
because you can get access to the companies that, let's say your competitor has a lot of negative reviews and people come and read those reviews. I can give you a way to reach out to consumers that just read negative reviews about your competition.
mm. That's a good one right there.
Um, so we are very much open. We have forms on our platform. I'm not ready to give out my home phone number, but there are forms where you can reach
Sure.
out to us, whether it
Right.
would be a business question, whether it would be a review. We also have a YouTube channel where consumers can subscribe, companies can subscribe. By the way, guys, if you're listening to it, make sure to sign up to Jason Miller's YouTube channel. It's important. And as you
Mm,
do that, jump over to Pest Consumer YouTube channel and subscribe there too.
there you
It will
go.
help both of us.
That was a great plug. A twofer. Awesome. Well, hey, I love to kind of wind the show up with, and I know we got long here, but it was a great conversation, and that's why it got long. Um, I like to kind of end the show with a little thought-provoking question, and that is, if you could have invited anybody here today with us today, dead or alive, any point in time in history, doesn't matter. Who would have you loved to have here with us and why them?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. That's a
He
great.
he would fix today's political situation.
That's true. That's a good choice. That's almost enough said. Right.
Jason, thank you for having me on the show. It was great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. It was great. Great to connect again. And I say we all got the same 168 hours a week. Thanks for stopping by for 30 here and spending it with me. It was a great conversation. So we blew over time. But hey, that's what happens when you get in a good conversation. So appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to War Room Moments with your host, Jason Miller. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.